No,
the CPC got let go.
what?
Somebody on the Community Preservation Commission was
Oh, I
not
heard
re-upped.
Well, the head of
that.
the tree commission did too.
Wow.
Really?
You're gonna
Sheila
be on your
Tantor.
toes, people.
Sheila
Goodness.
Tantor. Mhm.
Really? By the way, I have the webinar started, so we're recording because we
Okay.
have a quorum.
Okay.
Just waiting
All
for
right. Hi, David. Thanks for re-upping.
Hey, no problem. I think I'm halfway done with this appointment anyway, by the time they've gotten this far.
Oh, yeah.
With your, you mean halfway done with your next appointment?
Yeah.
Possible. Okay, so we just need,
Steve, where are you now?
Couldn't hear you.
I think you're
I
muted.
think you're muted, Steve.
He doesn't look like he's muted.
Oh, uh-oh.
Hand signals might work.
I bet you he's on top of Mount Washington.
No, he's at home.
No? Oh,
Is this the way we're gonna handle Steve's participation?
Boy.
we have hand signals for Steve.
Anything new about the way you're doing it?
He's getting all complex with the headphones.
Yeah, they look like new headphones. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but that shouldn't stop him from being able to talk.
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. We're probably not gonna, we are definitely not gonna have Charlie tonight. And we may or may not have Bill because he is in New Mexico traveling, and he said he probably would be able to get on Wi-Fi, but I said that we would have a quorum, so not to stress about it if he couldn't.
Yeah. And, how long is this meeting going to be anyways?
Yeah, right. I wouldn't want him to go out of his way to find like a Wi-Fi spot and then have it just be over and.
He drove 15 minutes or 15 miles to get a Wi-Fi spot.
And here he is.
Yeah,
And there he is. He got a
Bill.
Wi-Fi spot from his car. Oh my God.
Dedication.
yeah.
Jeez.
Came the
Love it.
furthest distance.
He gets the furthest distance this time.
Wait, no, wait, yes, he's the furthest distance tonight, but I think doesn't Steve win the prize?
Oh,
for,
Steve, yeah,
New
Steve's
Zealand?
gonna own that until I go to Australia and call in from there.
Let's make it a competition.
You are muted, Bill.
You know, Joe, Australia might be actually closer. I mean,
No. Oh, no, believe me, when I went to New Zealand, I wanted to see if that was the farthest away. And it from Boston at least. And it's a city in Australia that's the farthest away.
Oh, you have to go to like far Western Australia or something? or-
Brisbane. Someplace like that.
Well, it
Can-
depends on
can-
whether you go east or west from Boston, doesn't it? I mean,
Hmm.
No, you gotta go straight through the center of the earth and come
oh,
out.
is that
the
how
other
we're
side.
doing it?
Well, that's as farthest away.
But so this is fascinating because once you get straight through the center of the earth, then which direction do you turn?
You go straight. No, there's actually a online thing that you can plug in where you're from and see what's the farthest, what's on the other side of the planet.
Oh,
Okay,
Can you hear me
On that
now?
note- Yes,
You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Gretchen's here. Oh, Dan's here too. My thing is not expanding.
Oh, I don't see Gretchen. Oh, good. Oh,
No,
and Dan.
because they're
Okay, perfect. They're there.
further down. All right, then. Let's not waste any time. It's going to be a short meeting anyways. So let's bring this meeting to order. It's January 17th, 2023, Newburyport Conservation Commission meeting taking place on the Zoom platform, and this meeting's being recorded. First item on the agenda are the meeting minutes of December 20th, 2022. Do we have any
motion
comments?
to approve.
What's that, Carol?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Roll call, Steve Moore,
yes.
David Vine,
Yes,
Carol Wagon,
Yes,
Dan Warshaw,
Yes,
Bill Mullen,
yes.
and I vote yes. Next item on the agenda is Plum Island updates. Do we have updates?
The update that I have, although, let's see, last time we were together was December 20th. Not much has changed actually since then. They had paused the dredging project out in the river, and they still have yet to pick it up. It actually is supposed to restart either today or tomorrow. I don't think that it started today, so hopefully it will start tomorrow. And that will be the beginning of the dredge of the outer 15-foot channel, which will be apparently 90% of the total sand that is supposed to be dredged. So we had only gotten 10% of the sand, which is really good to know that ratio. That sand that was put on the beach is all gone, of course, but given that what a small percentage of the total project that it was, it kind of makes me feel better that there's still a huge amount to come. So we'll see how well that works out.
Yeah, well, what got washed off is now part of that 90% probably.
Maybe, yeah, depending on where it went. And there will be more detail on this at the next MRBA meeting, which is scheduled for February 3rd. I believe I sent you all the email about that. It'll be February 3rd at PETA Hall on Plum Island at 10 a.m. And the main topic of that meeting will be this Army Corps project. Should be a lot of additional detail to come.
Julia, do you know offhand if they have any intention of putting material maybe mounded in front of Reservation Terrace first when they start up again?
That's a good question. All I know is that they intend to start placing the sand closest to the jetty and then moving westward from there. So the initial placement will be up against the jetty and in that area of Reservation Terrace where we have our hot spots, and then moving further west. In terms of the elevation or creation of like a berm or a mound along the back edge by Reservation Terrace, I don't think that was part of the design that GZA did. I think the elevations needed to stay I don't want to say low, but I think they're along the lines of like the top of where the rocks were.
Oh.
Because if, there wouldn't have been anything to hold the sand in place at an elevation like that.
It just seems, it seems like it would be a very good thing to have for the winter, if nothing else.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe they could stockpile there or something.
I think it's a really good question. And I've actually heard the question asked by others as well. Like, why can't we get more elevation along Reservation Terrace? Why can't we build this thing higher, etc.? So I think it's something that we should talk with Army Corps and Anders about at the MRBA meeting.
So it used to be a lot higher over there.
It used to be a lot higher. You had to sort of like climb up on the dune and then head downward back towards the beach.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that formed over so many years, and it was heavily vegetated and really solid. And that could have been how it continued to like build higher and higher in elevation. I'm not sure what would happen if we just put the sand that high right now. Without something to hold it in place, but I think we need to have the discussion for sure.
yeah, because couldn't it just then go down the other way and make more of a problem for the houses if it's built up too high?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's sort of questionable as to what the best profile would be, whether you just keep with the gently sloping beach or you create a berm. I don't know.
Even just a temporary thing for the winter and then
Mhm.
finalize it later, just so that we have this situation again.
Yeah.
Can I ask you
Yeah.
another question, Julia? Whatever happened to, there was some talk, I guess, last year when the damage was first happening out there, some talk about buying out some people out there. Is that still in process or?
Yes, that's a good question too. So, 3 homeowners in that little neighborhood, sort of volunteered to have their homes bought by FEMA, as part of this FEMA hazard mitigation program, grant program. So what has happened was the city has to prepare the application on the homeowner's behalf. We submit that application to MEMA, our state emergency management. Then MEMA puts it together as part of their larger package where they have other applications from other municipalities, and they submit a whole package from the state of Massachusetts to FEMA. FEMA reviews it and then lets us all know who gets funded and who doesn't. So in this particular year, there's a tremendous amount of money available for Massachusetts, actually, I think for the whole country, under this hazard mitigation grant program. So we were strongly encouraged to apply for these buyouts because we have a higher chance of getting it this year than any other year. And in addition, the match, the local match for the grant is lower. It's only 10% rather than 25%. So whatever the total cost of purchasing these homes and demolishing them and restoring the site to open space is, the city would only have to pay 10% of that if we get this grant this year. So that is moving forward. There are 3 properties that are involved, and we're just keeping our fingers crossed. The grant has been prepared, it's been submitted to FEMA, and we're just in the process of waiting right now to see if it gets funded.
So would the city own the land if it goes through?
Yep. So the city would own the land. We would oversee the demolition of the structures, the cleanup of the sites, and then restoration to just essentially like beach and dune or whatever it happens to be at that time. And it would be owned by the city as public open space. No structures would ever be allowed to be built on it again. No active recreation, just sort of passive use of the property moving forward.
And it would involve removing the water and sewer hookups?
Yep, all infrastructure. Yeah. So I don't think that there are any actual, well, aside from just the utilities that are in the ground, that would all have to be removed, obviously. But I don't think that we have any of the candy canes or anything located on these properties themselves. So that shouldn't be a problem, but yeah, we're really just hoping that we get the grant because, you know, a couple of these properties anyway really need the, could benefit from it. So.
Are these
Thank you.
nice homes?
Yeah, yeah, they
These
are.
are,
They're high value.
wow, okay.
Mhm.
Good.
But they've had extensive damage from the storms, haven't they?
They've had extensive damage. Well, I shouldn't say that. One of them has had extensive damage from the storms and is actually the one that was called to be demolished after the last major storm in early December. And, or actually it was right before Christmas. And it had already been determined to be sort of unlivable before that. So that is one of them, but still a high value property, even regardless of the fact that it was, you know, unfit to be lived in the moment. And then there's 2 others, which one of them's on pilings currently, and so hadn't undergone as much actual physical damage because it's elevated on pilings, but given its location, just the access and use of the property has been in jeopardy for a long time. And then one a little bit further up and across the street from that one was getting flooded and things like that. So yeah, they were all 3 are properties that are entirely eligible for this buyout program. And that's why we really hope that it goes through. We'll just have to wait and see. So it might be around this time next year. If we get the grant, it would be around this time next year. I think that the actual ownership would come to the city and we would move forward with things like demolition and all that.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I hope we do get that. All right, anything else? Hearing none. On to certificates of compliance, etc. First one is Michael Parent, 166 Northern Boulevard. request for a certificate of compliance.
Okay. Let's see here. So Tom Hughes, I just moved over from a panelist or to be a panelist. And once Tom is here, I think he is right now.
Yep.
I'm gonna allow Tom to share his screen. Do you want me to go ahead and do that now, Tom? Or
Yeah,
what?
please.
Okay.
Okay, good evening. Tom Hughes with Hughes Environmental Consulting. You guys probably remember, those of you who've been on the commission for a while, 166 Northern Boulevard. It was one of the few undeveloped lots with a sewer hookup. We permitted a house there. It was constructed by David Daly. David Daly came into the commission and got a COC for the building. On the day of the vote on that, I believe Julia was out and confirmed that the entire site had been planted. This one was a little bit complicated because when I went into City Hall, Julia and I pulled the file out, and there was a lot of the information on the COC missing. So I had to reach out to David Daly and to his group and got some of the records that were missing from the file and submitted them with the with our request for a final COC. The site, the vegetation appears to have done really well. There's just one area where I think it's just use of the lot has left a little area. It's roughly 100 to 150 square feet where there's kind of a lack of dune grass, and Mike Parent, who's the current owner, has agreed to replant that, has engaged a landscaper. The dune grass is on the way, and it's dormant, so it's actually a pretty good time to get it in the ground. It's just we're waiting for it to arrive. We're expecting it to be in the ground within the next week. But overall, the site's pretty well vegetated. If you want, I can pull up the photos I sent in, or if you guys have looked at that. It's really just a fairly small area that's changed just because of the occupation of the property. Mr. Parent is the second owner after David Daly. David sold it to an owner who was supposed to take care of doing the final COC, and apparently they neglected to do so. So as you can see on your agenda, Mr. Parent's looking to do some work around the house as part of an RDA, and during that process, it became apparent that there was still an outstanding matter on the property.
Tom, I think it would be good to bring up the photographs. and
Okay,
all that,
yeah. Yep.
as I can.
Okay. Okay, so let me find all right, so current photos. All right, so let me just scroll up really quickly. All right, so this is from the driveway area. You can see really well vegetated back there. The other side, it's a combination of sort of old remnant lawn and plantings that went in. This is the fence. By the way, this fence, we've agreed. Mr. Parent didn't realize he needed approval for that, put it in because they have a dog to keep it in. So basically we've agreed we'll replace that with a compliant fence. It is open partially, but it doesn't fully meet the Plum Island guidelines. So we will provide you with a detail sheet on the fence before it gets installed, but it will be at least 50% open, fully compliant with the Plum Island guidelines. Here's the side of the property, and then this is
Tom?
here. Oh, yes, sorry.
Can we go back to that last picture?
Yep,
And I see that there's lattice or whatever you want to call it, all the way down to the ground.
yeah. So this was present when you guys voted to issue the COC. It shows in the photos from the COC package. And you did sign off on the building. That was something Julia had mentioned. And it's been through, an owner in between. So this is the way Mr. Parent bought it. It's just at I think two of the stairways. And so had this been something where Mr. Parent was, had engaged the contractor to build it, I would be offering to take that off. But I think in this case, the builder came in, got the sign off from you guys, and it's exchange an owner. So that's kind of and it's really just at the stairways. where that exists.
Okay, so we missed it when we issued the,
Right.
yeah.
And that is in the materials that I sent Julia. And I think it may be in the package that went out to you guys. This is the area that I was talking about where it's kind of lacking some vegetative cover. So this we will be planting with American beach grass 1 foot on center. And we're happy if you guys wanted to vote to approve the COC to have Julia hold it until she's confirmed that vegetation has gone in. I think you'll see from the rest of these that the site is pretty well vegetated other than that one area. You'll also notice even under the structure, there is some vegetation growing, which is beyond what we had proposed with the permitting. So there's actually an increase in vegetation once that other area is permitted or is planted over what was originally approved here. So those are the current pictures of the site. Overall, the plantings have survived well over the 2 growing seasons and have reached that kind of mature phase where the living and lifestyle of the homeowner has impacted it, and we're agreeable to undoing that and planting that one area that is now kind of devoid of vegetation.
Well, this is unrelated, but I can't help but notice a fence through the, in this picture on the other property that doesn't look,
Belongs to the
Fine.
neighbor. Yep.
Yeah.
No, belongs to the neighbor. Yeah. So the fence, like I said, we will take the fence that is the responsibility of Mr. Parent, and we will replace that with something. It may just be split rail with a wire mesh backing, but we still have to decide exactly on which one, but we're 100% agreeable on doing that.
All right, anything else, folks? The motion?
Motion to issue the certificate of completion.
Can I get a second?
I'll
second
second that.
oh, Dan got it.
Okay, roll call, Steve Moore,
Yes.
David Vine,
Yes,
Carol Wagon,
Yes,
Dan Warshall,
Yes,
Bill Mullen,
yes,
and I vote yes. All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Next item is Michael Parent, 166 Northern Boulevard, request for determination.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tom Hughes with Hughes Environmental Consulting here on behalf of Michael Parent. And on this, I've been working with Newburyport, oh my goodness. Nice Newburyport, the contractor is doing the work here. And basically they got hired to come out and do some work, including enclosing an existing outdoor shower, putting on some skirting, et cetera, along with a few other things, and I'll go through those with you. Also putting in a platform on which to mount a small outdoor refrigerator. This is what raised the issue of the COC. So what we submitted was a series of photos of the building, and then followed by, or right next to it was a sketch of the same section of the building. Julia asked us to clarify that. So what I did is this, I had Stephanie from Newburyport mark this up. And what you'll see is these lines are where the skirting will be going. And then there's an existing outdoor shower right here. So I've made it clear that the skirting will be solid, but it will be elevated 3 feet above grade. The shower enclosure, they had originally wanted to do that at 1 foot. I have changed that to be 2 feet. So it'll be 2 feet under at the shower enclosure. Shower enclosure is 48 by 52. And the skirt will complete down the right-hand side, halfway across the back, covering the propane tank in the back side. So that's basically along here to here. And then front side you know, is basically left open on the front, and then it goes down here and again kind of ends here for that. This is where the fridge would be, and the fridge is supported by a post on a what's the name of it? The footing with the pins in it. My brain is not working right now. So let me go to,
Diamond.
yeah, the diamond pier. Which I think for that application is fine. Let me just rifle up to page 1. So you can see this is a sketch showing where the electric meter is and the cable and all that. And if you look at the next picture, this is what the sketch is of. So that's kind of how this submission was oriented. So if you kind of have to look at them side by each to like look at that and then look at that to see. But on here, you can see where the lines are depicting the skirting. And I have clarified with you guys, this is not a 2-foot opening, it's going to be a 3-foot opening above grade.
So that last sheet has to be modified?
Yeah, and I can mark these up pretty easily. I just actually noticed tonight that we hadn't updated that from 2 to 3, but it's very clear in my RDA as well as on that skirting location plan view that I sent in that it's 3 feet above grade. So again, here you can see the kind of the skirting, the propane tanks. But if you kind of go back and forth to the next page, so here are the propane tanks. This is the area that's in, you know, in question and being discussed. So that was kind of the thought. This shows the post that will be going on a diamond pier. And that will be a 6x6 pressure treated wood post that will hold the platform for the fridge. And again, so, you know, this is the picture where that is going to occur. Again, this is just another angle. This is the existing stairs with that enclosure.
So I'm just confused a little bit about this refrigerator platform.
Yeah,
It's underneath the structure, adjacent to the utility, like where is it?
yeah. So looking on here, it's tucked into this little opening, this little corner right here.
Okay,
So,
right in the corner. Okay,
so
and it's gonna be, that's also elevated 3 feet?
that's, yes, that's elevated. And in fact, if Stephanie is on, she could confirm, but I believe the post goes right where that arrow is pointing.
So this is an outdoor refrigerator that's elevated up 3 feet, is that?
Yeah, it's elevated up above the ground. And it just, you know,
It's
I'm a
just
little-
so that they can have a refrigerator outside? in
Yep.
the Summer?
I'm a little envious, but yes.
Okay,
You don't have to worry about pipes freezing and things like that. I guess there's no water hookup, it's just a refrigerator.
Right. And it's a fairly small unit. If we continue down that attachment thing, I'll show you what it looks like. So again, so this was kind of the thought of what was submitted. This shower, you'll see it already exists. We should be able to see that in the photos somewhere. So here's the shower, and basically we're just enclosing that for a little more privacy. Here's some X bracing. This is another part of it. The X bracing is separated, so they want to put a block to combine the X bracing together. I don't know if it was constructed with a separation, but they just want to give it a little more rigidity. And they'll be using, you know, stainless steel and either plywood blocking for that. Okay, so just going down. So we also note there's a little bit of damage, just looks like a little bit of rot or something here, so that's going to be fixed. So this is what the fridge looks like.
Upside down.
Yep. I can rotate the view, but then everything else will turn upside down. But if you guys could just kind of tilt your head a little bit, you can get the idea.
So it's going to be affixed to that pole out?
It's gonna be on the platform and I assume it either gets covered or can be brought in off season. But yes, it would go on top of the platform is to keep it, to treat it like it's a utility and get it up above the flood and have it be a resilient fridge.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to figure out how they were going to attach it as to whether or not they could bring it in during the winter. Maybe they don't care whether they do or not. I don't know. It seems kind of.
Yeah, I know the platform wouldn't be coming in. And that's
No, I
that's
just
the
meant this.
important part that we're looking for approval for.
Oh, okay.
But I am kind of curious on that too, because it actually looks really kind of like a cool thing. I know when my daughter got back from college, I used her dorm fridge on the porch for a little while, but it didn't last too long. It was nice though, while it lasted. And then there's just an example of the AZAC panel. They plan on using AZAC for most of this work and PVC trim, which is all, nice durable material and a beadboard, AZAC beadboard type thing. But so anyhow, so it's all relatively minor add-ons. It's all sensitive to the site. And again, here's another view of that fence, and we are agreeable to that being swapped out. So with that,
So being agreeable to that being swapped out and actually swapping that out. are two different things.
yeah, no, we are committed to it and would accept if you wanted to do, a condition on the determination to ensure that happened, and we can provide you with the schedule for that being done and the materials and perhaps even maybe a contract or something. I just don't know time of year, whether it makes sense to do it now or to do it in the spring, but we can provide you with evidence that's going to happen before the work proceeds on the main house.
Tom, we're not having winter, so this is spring.
Yeah,
I kind of noticed that, but then we weren't supposed to have snow and we got like 3 or 4 inches. So
But it's gonna melt, so.
yeah, but in 2015, we didn't have any snow at this point. And then we got 10 feet, so.
Yep, no, I mean, it's weather's crazy. It's certainly changing a little bit.
Mhm. All right, we got any other questions or comments or motions?
Okay, it's a -3, that means there's a condition, right? Okay, so I'll
Yeah.
make a motion, we issue this with a -3.
Second,
Roll call, Steve Moore,
Yes,
David Vine,
yes.
Carol Wagon,
Yes.
Dan Warshall.
Just one quick question on the conditions, I guess. Are there any beside the fence? So that's condition. I assume that's a condition.
yes.
Is that right, Steve?
Yes,
Okay. And any others?
none that I can think of.
Other than changing the plans to show 3 feet, except for around the shower.
Yeah, I would suggest both of those things, that first of all, I won't issue this until the plans get changed for the file that shows 3 feet for the skirting rather than 2. But then the special condition that a schedule and specifications for the fence replacement shall be provided. I don't know, prior to work starting on site or something like that.
And wasn't there also something about more plantings?
And actually, yeah, you could put the plantings, that was associated with the certificate of compliance. But we could put that in as a special condition in this as well.
Yeah, it's gonna happen anyways, apparently, so.
So you could say that the plantings that associated with the planting plan for the previous order of conditions shall be established prior to, within this spring 2023 growing season. And you can even say plans and specifications for the proposed fence replacement shall be provided to the commission as soon as possible, and the fence shall also be installed within the spring 2023 growing season.
Works for me.
Okay.
Does that earn your vote, Dan?
That's a yay for me.
All right. Bill Mullen,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, and Tom, for the 21 Malcolm Hoyt, where do you want it continued to?
I think the next meeting, my understanding is it's supposed to be going into the planning board like any day. And once we do that, I'd like to come in. We had talked to you previously as part of a continuance about some of the plan updates that we were looking at doing. I'd like to just present the plan and then we'll look to continue it. Unless there's some kind of update the commission wants, we'll look to then continue it to coincide with a planning decision at that point. But if we can do the next meeting, and if we don't have the planning board plans in time for that meeting, we'll do it a meeting at a time till we get past the submission and then come up with a grown-up date to continue to after that.
Okay.
Just one question on that, Tom. I know we're not opening this or anything, but I remember at the time you had said you were going to include a bridge as part of it. There's been no change on that.
Yeah, I mean, we need to make sure, we had some discussions about making sure the city's agreeable to all that. And the thing is, it would be a very simple bridge. We're not talking about anything, complex or accessible or making the trail accessible. It would be a very simple bridge that you might see an Eagle Scout or somebody build.
Yeah, but I mean, you offered that up last time, and so.
Yeah, my understanding is that is still a valid thing. I have talked to the developer about it. I just need to make sure. I think they want to get a sense of how much that would be to make sure they're still on board. But yes, that's still what we're looking at. And then mowing a stripe to kind of start establishing a way to get out to that upland area were the two things we had talked about.
All righty, so I'm not gonna bring us into public hearings. We can just want a motion to continue this to February 7th. Since it's,
So moved.
Second,
all right, roll call, Steve Moore,
Yes.
David Vine,
yes.
Carol Wagon,
Yes,
Dan Warshall,
Yes.
Bill Mullen,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right,
Thank you very
thank
much.
Tom.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Um,
Does anybody have anything else?
I may or may not be at the next meeting.
Were you gonna be in New Zealand again?
No, Mount Washington.
Oh, you're up there. Oh,
Yeah,
February, Mount Washington.
Mhm.
wow.
Is it always in February that you go up there?
that's it. The last few years, it's been Super Bowl weekend, and that's not going to happen this year. But yeah,
I tried to get up there in February a bunch of years ago. We're all set to go up and it was too cold for the snowcat to run. So we didn't go up. Not happy,
Smart move.
but too bad you missed the 150-mile-an-hour wind, Steve.
Well, you never know. My personal record is 142. So
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
yeah.
Still
Is it
time.
noisy up there when it's that windy?
Well, let's put it this way. I did happen to be out on the deck and got picked up and blown the whole distance there.
No
Oh.
way.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good thing for fences at either
Yeah.
side.
And I had to crawl back on my hands and knees.
Gosh.
Good
So
You
luck.
want to go back, huh? For more?
I
Yeah.
guess you're kind of part of the
Gives an
140
adventure
mile an
factor.
hour club, but not really.
Not really.
Since you couldn't stand up.
I don't
Are you
think
doing
anybody
it-
can in 142.
No, probably not.
Wow.
Steve, are you doing scientific work or something?
No, I'm a volunteer for the week and I get to cook dinner every night.
Yep.
Ah, okay.
So
Are there actually hikers who climb up in February, January, February?
oh yeah, I've done it.
Mhm.
Well, you're in another category. I mean, like
Well,
regular people.
Yeah, you gotta pick the day. You know,
Yeah, right,
Yeah,
right,
you
right.
can't, you gotta make sure that it's not gonna be 150-mile-an-hour winds.
No,
Wow.
I don't go unless it's, winds are less than 20, temperatures above 0, no clouds.
You're above 0.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like a low bar. That's impressive, Steve.
Well, it's comfortable if you keep moving.
Yeah. Well, those
So-
hikers are gonna need a good dinner if they get up there and you're cooking.
So Steve, was this you during that,
No,
that breeze? No? Okay,
well,
all right. I'm gonna take one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
second,
Steve Moore,
yes.
David Vine,
Yes.
Carol Wagon,
Yes.
Dan Warshall,
Yes.
Bill Mullen,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So, all right, guys, see you in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bye.
February. Bye.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye.
Night.